All right, everyone, welcome back. It is the 2024 fantasy golf season. I have you guys covered with the top picks here for the Sanderson Farms Championship. So, guys, just to start off, last tournament, the Fortinet Championship, we did hit an outright winner. So, coming off of a nice start to the season there. And actually, personally, myself, the one and done contest that Pat Mayo puts on, I finished top 50, and I'm pretty sure that was the top finish for content creators. I'm not positive. It was pretty awesome season in that regard. Hopefully we can repeat with that this season. Last season as well, we started off on really a heater, predictably so, kind of tailed off at the tail end of the season in terms of making profitable builds each and every week. There was a 3-month stretch where we cashed every single week. So hopefully we can give you guys those results again this week or this year. Obviously, not that likely. Only 10 outright winners, though, last year, which was down a vast amount from previous seasons. A little bit unlucky there because we had like 12 outright winners, and a lot of those weren't in tournaments in which we did have a winner. So a little bit unlucky there. Kind of expect that to regress in a positive way. But what I want to do is I just want to be touching on all the top plays, obviously, for this week's tournament. Let's start out with the high-end plays. We got Ludwig here. Everyone's going to be on him, and I'm kind of worried about that. Just, kind of the Ryder Cup narrative there. A lot of people are hyped to play him probably. I feel like there's going to be a little bit too much media bias there, and I'm not saying that that's wrong. He was really dominating there on the DP Tour, and he played really well on the PGA Tour when we have seen him. He's actually coming in as the second best pick in the 9-to-5 model. By all means, if you guys want to roster him, you can. The player that I like the most is going to be Jaeger, okay? Jaeger, unfortunately for himself, he couldn't be on the Ryder Cup team. Turns out they didn't need him. And personally, guys, I don't want to get too much fluff. You guys know I hate that, but man, to me, the Ryder Cup just does not have that much legs to it. I feel like it's kind of like an all-star game. I feel like that's more the Tour Championship is more like our all-star game. We get to enjoy top players in the world, in the golfing world, for their last tournament. They get a big payday. And like the Ryder Cup, this is going to be a bad take for a lot of you guys, but it's like a regular season NBA game or like an NFL preseason game. And you guys know I love NFL preseason, or you should, but I don't know. And it's like every year the players on the losing team are all still like having fun. They're all excited. They don't care. And so it's like, why do I get invested in that? And that's typically why I don't. So that's why I didn't cover it, in case you guys were wondering. Now, enough with that fluff. Let's get into it. So, guys, Jaeger is going to be really the standout play. Not only does he have tremendous course history at this tournament, he's going to be coming in as basically the ideal play on the board this week. So, course history-wise, two top 30 finishes. Made the cut in his last 2 starts here. Missed the cut in this first attempt here. I don't really care about that one miscut. We're going to see that course history really doesn't matter too much. You guys will see the course horses there. Not a big draw to me. Looking at course horses, yes, if they have course experience, great. If they don't, I don't care too much. Recent form-wise, he's been spectacular. He's actually going to be coming in, really, regardless of how you look at it, over the last 15 events, best form. Over the last 5 events, 4th. Over the last 10 events, 4th in the field. So, yeah, it makes a lot of sense to be paying up for him. Key stat-wise, and I'll show you guys the key stats here. These are always going to be based off of which key stats led to players both making the cut, but also having a top finish. That's what I'm always drawn in from. That's where we get a lot of the consistency from. Birdie or better percentage, we see that. Strokes gained approach, we see that. Par 5 scoring as well. Players that are struggling to score in the par 5s are simply not making the cut. And then 200 plus wedge. This is a little bit of a longer track, but some of the tee shots kind of lead to players having to use their long iron a little bit more. So that's the key stats that we're looking at. He is top 25 or better in all those key stats. So he's going to be someone we should certainly be playing. And in case you guys didn't guess it, he's going to be a core play for me. From there, we got Emiliano Grillo. I do feel like Emiliano Grillo, he has just been playing really solid golf. And I'm kind of curious as to what the theme of this season is going to be. 2 years ago, it was predictable winners were winning. Last year, it was kind of like first timers, shoulder shrug winners, like guys you wouldn't exactly be on that were winning. And if that trend continues, Emiliano Grillo would be that guy we would want to go out of our way to target. Tremendous form out of him last season. And I should mention the data that I'm using for the first 4 events or so is going to be data from last season, okay, or their last 5 starts when applicable. Emiliano Grillo is going to be a really good staff fit, okay, top 15 in the field. Course history-wise, tremendous. 4 straight make cuts, we love that. So he's ranking top 10 in the field there. Specialist-wise, which is pulling in all that unique data for that week's tournament. You guys hear people reference, oh, well, you can't put on Bermuda or something like that, or, oh, it's a so-and-so course design, or, oh, it's an easy scoring track. Well, that, personally, I don't like all those data points as individual data points because I feel like that can skew your data a little bit. So I just put that into one specialist stat. That's what that is. Second best in the field there for Grillo. Second best recent form, coming in as the third best pick in the 9 to 5 mile. By all means, he is looking like he's going to be a good play for you. To me, the sneaky play could easily be Adam Svensson. I really like the price tag on him. And he is someone, when we look at his game log as well, he had been on a tear at the tail end of the season last year. I hate that I have to keep calling out stuff like this, but it's good to know. Like, look at the last time we saw some of these golfers. Like a lot of these guys, it's going to be 3 months, maybe 4 months then since when we've seen them competitively. Some of these guys 2 months. And the more time off a player has gone without playing, the less predictable they are. Okay, that's why in the middle of the season, it becomes very easy to predict. Shouldn't say that, easier to predict. We're going to see more random results. Now, Svensson is a very interesting one because prior to last year, he had missed the cut here twice, but last year he finished 54th. Remember, you do care about course history. Yes, you can give a guy a little bit of a bump because of good course history, but I'm not going too crazy with it. I just like the fact that he has experience at this course. Looking at the key stat data, 33rd in the field in birdie or better percentage, 15th in strokes gained approach, that long iron accuracy stat, top 10 there, par 5 scoring, top 30 there. Recent form-wise, he's had a bunch of good starts, 15th, 37th, 7th, 37th, 21st. Really good stuff there. 6 straight made cuts in a row. You look at his made cut percent, that's going to be one of the best kind of made cut percents when we consider his price tag at 77% there. Overall, he's coming in as the 4th best pick in the 9 to 5 model. Overall, he makes a lot of sense, and you guys could be going with a studs and duds build. Like game you could play, there's other players you can play, but let's go ahead and get into that mid. All right, so the mid tier here, we actually are getting a lot of, I would say, interesting plays. The one player that really is standing out to me, that was going to be Tom Hoagie, just considering his price tag. He should be someone that's a safe play as well. Now, yes, maybe we worry about the distance aspect a little bit, but Tom Hoagie at this track has went miscut 2 years ago, 28th and 49th. So I'm not too worried there. You look at birdie or better percentage, you look at his strokes gained approach, top 5 in both of those key stats. Look at the recent form. It's been there. We take off these 2 tournaments. He's made 3 straight cuts in a row. The one miscut was a bad miscut, but that was at the Open Championship. You wouldn't have expected him to play well. And isn't that crazy? Like, those events are like 3 months ago. Like, it's tough to put too much into that. Overall, though, he's coming in as the 13th best pick. Certainly could end up on him. Sam Ryder going to be another very interesting play, I would say. He's made the last 2 cuts at this tournament, and then prior to that, missed 2 cuts, but once again, has that course experience. He's going to be top 10 or better in birdie or better percentage and strokes gained approach. In terms of par 5 scoring, 200 plus stat, not too concerning there. Would like it to be a little bit better. I think the thing we would like about him the most is that he has presented us with some upside somewhat recently. A little bit too hit or miss, but overall, a good quality play, I would say, at 8.5. And it's going to get risky. Obviously, the lower we go down, the more risky it's going to get, especially in this field event. Ben Griffin, he's going to be no stranger to the risk aspect of it. Now, Ben Griffin finished 24th at this event last year. He actually started his season out really well last year, and then kind of predictably so, went through a little bit of a rough patch. It seemed like he was starting to come through it at the tail end of the season last year, but once again, he was playing in some tournaments that you really wouldn't expect him to play well. Wyndham Championship, I wouldn't say that's a good track for him. The Open Championship, not really good track for him. PGA Championship, you're not really expecting him to play well there. So in a lot of the tournaments where you would have maybe been ending up on him, he was playing well. And this is going to be one of those tournaments where you probably could end up on him. 13th in birdie or better percentage, that long iron stat, going to be top 10 there. He's actually coming in as a top 10 pick in the 9 to 5 model. Once again, we don't have to go crazy with it, but I do think it's a good play. Then I also want to call it Garrick Higgo. Very much a risk-reward based play. Want to make that clear. But Higgo finished 3rd at this tournament last year. And if we know anything about Higgo, he is someone that can pop at any random point. He finished the season playing extremely well as well. And if we look at some of the key stats, and this is where he becomes interesting in his play, okay? 24th in birdie or better percentage. We love that. Strokes gained approach is down. 83rd in the field. We don't love that. Par 5 scoring top 10. And then also that long iron stat, top 10 in the field there. So looking really good for 3 out of the 4 key stats this week. Now, I do feel the need to call this out because for DraftKings, we're not getting that updated data for the Fortnite Championship. For the PGA Tour, we're not getting that updated data for the Fortnite Championship. So he is coming in off of 2 miscuts, okay? But they weren't bad miscuts. They were miscuts on the number as well, okay? That's where something, it's crazy. Like, this is literally why I need to have this database. It's crazy, but that's why. That's why I do the things that I do for you guys, okay? So he actually is coming in as a top 5 pick to me. He's a player that we probably should just be ending up on, considering the price tag, kind of considering the consistency as well. Like when we look at his long-term form, we can see, really not bad results in there. The 2 miscuts on the number we don't like, but opening event of the season, and then also tail end of the event of the season, like, oh well, played well in easier field events, and given the fact that this field is a little bit easier, I do expect him to be able to make the cut. And then from there, like Lee Hodges is fine. We don't have to go crazy with that. Let's drop down into that low tier. All right, so kind of my biggest issue this week is that we're not getting that many good low tier plays. Akshay is someone that is casually popping up. I'm not exactly sure we need to be going out of our way to roster him, but key stat wise, he's certainly going to be intriguing where he ranks out top 15 or better in all the key stats that we are looking at. He is someone that is coming off of a win at the Barracuda Championship. You like that as well. Barbasol Championship had a 9th place finish. Like, he certainly could be worth the risk. He had a bunch of random top 10 finishes, and I shouldn't say they're random because a lot of them were at similar events where the field wasn't as good. So if you're looking for a really high upside play, you go Bakhtia, you could go Garrick Higo, and you have yourself a really solid GPP lineup. And for now, I'm kind of taking that risk. Like, at the beginning of the season, I feel like we don't know as much about these players as we should, and it's going to be worth kind of the risk a little bit more. From there, we go down. Sorry for the typo. Dylan Wu on the graphic there. It is what it is. The video has been rolling. He is someone that I actually rostered a decent amount last season because he always seemed to be a little bit underpriced, and he was always someone that was a good play for a chance at a made cut. Key stat wise, he's going to be someone that's popping up again. Birdie or better percentage, top 5 in the field, 3rd best in par 5 scoring. You like that. Strokes can approach top 20, 200 plus, top 30 there. Now, he hasn't had the best success at this course. 67th at this tournament last year, miscut the year prior to that. We don't love that. Recent form has been a little bit questionable, but he did finish 14th at the Fortnite Championship. Once again, I'm sorry, guys, that they don't have that. And I'm actually curious. I feel like a lot of people like the DraftKings side of it better. I could keep the 9-to-5 database open up for you, the 9-to-5 cheat sheet open for you during these videos, but it seems like people like seeing DraftKings a little bit more because they're used to it, and I get that. Once again, though, if you guys want access to that cheat sheet, like, it is $10 a month. I priced it that way for you guys. Take advantage of that. It's the best value fantasy golf tool out there. Some might even say it's the best fantasy golf tool out there. Like, take advantage of the resources that are out there. Looking at Kevin Streelman, certainly an interesting play as well. You look at his last few events: 56th at the Fortnite Championship, 74th at the Wyndham Championship, which wasn't good. Does have a second place mixed in there though, and that's kind of him as well. Like, he has done okay at some of these lesser field events. The reason why you'd be playing Kevin Streelman though is going to be the course history. Finished 24th, 31st, and 4th. So really good stuff there from Kevin Streelman. And then really, to me, kind of the standout play, and I think he makes a lot of sense as an outright bet, it's going to be Nate Lashley. Nate Lashley has been playing some quality golf for quite some time. And if you look at like his miscuts, a lot of them weren't bad miscuts, especially if you take out the Charles Schwab Challenge, you know, the team event. A lot of his miscuts last year actually came at the start of the season. And we can see finished 61st at this event last year, 17th the year prior to that, and then miscut. Key stat-wise, though, he is top 11 or better in 3 out of the 4 key stats, and strokes gained approach ranks out 21st in the field. Like, none of these players are going to be locking loads, but I really like the chance that Nate Lashley gives us at a made cut. So given his price tag, it's just one of those plays for me that's going to be tough to pass up on. Now, there are going to be other plays in that price point range you could roll with, and I would say they're going to be better options than maybe the ones I'm going to call it in the value section. And for the sake of this lineup, let's see who I could plug in there at 7.1. Andrew Novak, possibly. That's a little bit ugly. Maybe Martin Laird. That's also ugly. MJ Duffy. That's a little ugly as well. Maybe I would go down from one of these plays to get a, I don't know. I'll go Duffy for now. And I'm pretty sure I'm saying his name wrong. Apologies. But let's look at the value tier. All right, so the value tier, that's obviously going to be the 7 or 6.9K and below everyone that else that is left over. And it's not sexy. You guys have seen the graphic popping in and out during this video. You can play any of those guys. I would say the one player that I really think is kind of mispriced would be that being Russell Knox, who did miss the cut at the Wyndham Championship, but he finished 30th at the Fortnite Championship. He has good course history here, with 2 top 30 finishes over his past 3 starts over the past 4 years. Missed 1 cut. Considering the price tag, I would actually almost be more happy to end up on Knox, who also ranks 6th in strokes gained approach. The other data points are not as favorable for him, but you know, I'm trying to find someone with form at a low price tag, and that's going to be Russell Knox. And guys, that is going to be it. Hopefully you guys enjoyed the coverage. If you did, as always, make sure to give a like and subscribe. If you guys want access to the 9-to-5 tools, remember, take advantage of it. $10 a month gives you access to all the fantasy golf tools that you'd want and more. Not gonna lie, I probably undersell it a little bit, but I don't want people to be making a purchase because I'm selling them on it. I want them to be making a purchase because they see the value in it. All right, that's gonna be all for this video. Hopefully you guys enjoyed the coverage. Make sure to give a like and subscribe. Let's have a good start to the season. And as always, let's keep cash.